Alrighty, guys. Well, in the era of reboots, spin-offs, sequels, prequels, you name it, we have a reboot of one of the most popular and most notorious and famous franchises in all of fantasy and all of fiction, and that is Harry Potter coming up. This reboot has admittedly been shrouded in a bit of controversy, of course, with J.K. Rowling herself, but then also the fact that they're rebooting a very beloved franchise when the originals were so beloved, and the originals' main actors, Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson, are still relatively young, in their 30s, I believe. So it's an interesting move. It's an interesting idea to reboot the franchise so soon. But David Zaslav from Warner Brothers seems intent on continuing on this franchise and introducing it to a new audience. So lo and behold, we have an HBO Max reboot in the works. It's going to be basically the same kind of format as the original Harry Potter, where we're going to just have the three kids grow up. We just recently, a couple months ago, talked about the casting of these three kids: Dominic McLaughlin, Alistair Stout, and then Arabella Stanton as Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger. So we just had that going on, but also the fact that these three characters are going to grow up together for the next 10 years over, I think, 7 seasons is what they said. Maybe they'll do 8. Who knows? Maybe they'll kind of stretch out the last little bit as well. But that's all been fine, and it's all been more theoretical up until they cast the three actors. But now, surprisingly, to me at least, because this has all just been sort of up in the air and hand-wavy for a little bit now, surprisingly, they've just started filming. We have our first image of, I almost said Daniel Radcliffe. It is not Daniel Radcliffe. It is now a name that we should probably learn as the young actor, as long as he does well in the role, as long as the series takes off. He's going to have a lot of work as he ages up and grows into an adult. This is Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter. We have our first image of Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, as he, with that little, I forget what that's called, the thing that they clap, where they announce that filming is starting. But anyways, they have the announcement that filming has started. As of July 14th, 2025, filming on Harry Potter, the HBO Max series Season 1, has begun, and he's also in costume. And I gotta say, I wouldn't have made a segment just if they had just released that picture, but there are a couple things here that are noteworthy enough to talk about. But first of all, let's just talk about the picture. He looks, somehow even more like Harry Potter than Harry Potter did, than Daniel Radcliffe did. And I'm basing this only off of the vague illustrations that we've had on cover art for the Harry Potter books, but also just the more traditional descriptions of Harry Potter. And somehow this looks like one of those book covers just came to life. And I'm not saying, of course Daniel Radcliffe looked like Harry Potter because he is really the iconography of Harry Potter. It is him, right? But you look at this kid and you go, just based on looks alone, because we have no idea how much acting experience he has and how good of an actor he is, but it's a young kid and he looks very much like Harry Potter. Now, again, like I just said, looks alone are not going to make this role. You could have gotten thousands of kids across the world who could have put on this costume and looked exactly like Harry Potter in a lot of people's minds. So who knows, right? Who knows? But still, it's an exciting thing. Anyways, the more important thing to discuss in this segment is the fact that, yes, filming has started, and this is perhaps the most important thing to come out of it, HBO Max has set a tentative release window of 2027. Now let's extrapolate a little bit here. So this first season is filming now, and it's just started. So, a season of television, especially an HBO kind of series, with as intensive as it is, let's just say it takes 2-3 months to film. So let's just say before October 2025, this series will have wrapped filming. Okay, that makes sense. And then they'll go into post-production, and they'll have all of 2026 to do post-production. But of course, they're going to be starting to film the second season probably next year, because this is just going to be a machine that keeps going unless this series just bombs, in which case we're not going to have many more seasons of this. But as long as this series continues to gain notoriety, and it looks like they've gotten the right people to do it with the showrunners of Succession running this show, so it looks like it really has the right talent behind it, and they're just going to keep filming for the foreseeable future. So it's not like they're going to just sit on their hands for all of 2026 waiting, is the show going to do well, is it not going to do well? They're going to keep filming. So they're going to have most of 2026 to edit, but they're probably going to launch in about a year in filming season 2, as long as everything goes well. And so I would think, based on all of this, when HBO Max sets the tentative release window of 2027, we might be looking at maybe Christmas 2026 into 2027, or perhaps January, February 2027. I think this is going to come pretty early in 2027, which, yes, is a long way away. But if you think about it, the way that they're structuring this filming and these seasons, it looks like we're going to be getting a season pretty much every year, every 1.5 years ish. And that's exciting, because it's been a while since we've had shows just pump out content, not content per se, but pump out release dates and release new seasons every so often, because usually it takes 2-3 years between seasons, and by the time you get the new one, you kind of forget what happens in the old one. I felt that way about Severance, even though it was really quite easy to get back into it. So we'll see where this goes, but I think that the release date of 2027 is an exciting thing to think about, and I think that perhaps we might get it a little bit earlier. I would, at this point in time, I might wager Christmas 2026. It might be a Christmas show. We'll see about that, guys. What do you think of this first image of Harry Potter, Dominic McLaughlin as Harry Potter, and the fact that the show has started to film and will release in 2027? Let me know in the comments down below.